Hello, I'm Jared Willits, and welcome to My Thoughts for What They're Worth, episode number 44, entitled From Enemies to Allies. To it in just a moment, but first, as I always do, I ask that you like, share, and subscribe if you're interested in the podcast here. My Thoughts for What They're Worth on Spotify and YouTube. From Enemies to Allies. It's been a little bit since the election, and after all the political warfare is over, at least in terms of campaigning. Maybe it's time for a little reconciliation in the country. You know, the campaign. Gosh, it was ugly. It was mean. It was nasty. I really don't remember a campaign being quite as nasty as this one has been, not just from the official campaigns, but the PACs and the people and the talk shows. It was just pretty intense. And no matter which side you're on, how it fell for you, you got to be glad, but for one thing, that it's over. We got other things coming up, of course, but that campaign, ugly, mean, and nasty, is over. So maybe it's a chance for us, to be friends again. Maybe we can be friends again with people we disagree with, and many people say no, we cannot. The divide remains deep and strong. The chasm is, you can't see the bottom of it. It's dark down there. There's no light at the end of the tunnel and all that. Can't be done. We remain divided. Well, do you think that at the end of World War II, if you asked anyone in America, well, you think we could be friends with Japan and Germany? Think we could do that? And they're all going to go, no way. But we are. Friends and allies working together for a better world. So it can be done. Bitter enemies, it has to end. It's throughout history, it has ended and moved on to a better place. And we can do the very same thing. You know, maybe we can do it at the dinner table this Thanksgiving. Just take a breath and just say, all right, well, what you could do is just not talk about, politics. Or you could try something I've talked about a couple of times before. I know, it's tough. It's called listening. It's a lost art. We've all forgotten how to really, really listen to other people. And when you take the time to listen, you learn and you understand. And when they take the time to offer you that same courtesy of listening, they learn, they understand. And then we can get to all sorts of things, including compromise on a lot of issues, so on and so forth. So I think if we could do it after World War II as nations, we can certainly do it as people and parties in America, left and right, Republican and Democrat, even independents. Hello, no party affiliation here. We can stop shouting and accusing and yelling and all that and come to compromise, and we can have enough of this serious division. And this goes not only for just us people talking to each other, the folks in the hallowed halls of Congress, perhaps they give it a shot at listening and trying to be less offensive and arrogant about their views and all that. And maybe on the air as well. Gosh, I think we all know this. A lot of the legacy media and all the talk shows on cable and that, they have a point of view, especially the opinion shows, obviously. To a lesser degree, the legacy media, a little preachy, a little we know what's going on more than you do, so here's the deal. That's been a lot of that has been going on. That's not a surprise. I have mentioned on a number of occasions before, I really dislike the opinion shows on both sides, mainly because, for the most part, all they do is preach to the choir. And that does nothing positive. It's a great disservice to the American people. You may remember, if you're my age or somewhere around here, the days of yore. There weren't too many talk shows, but the ones that were on had a variety of people and points of view and opinions about politics in the world. Lively discussion and debate, but none of the yelling and screaming and, you're ugly. And things like that. Just didn't do it. It was an opportunity for people to watch or to listen, and to listen and to learn. So I'm really hoping maybe lessons can be learned from what has gone on during the election cycle, and maybe everyone can just settle down a little bit and start working towards that thing called, well, a center, I guess. A lot of people, a lot of folks in this country in the middle, not just geographically, but politically and socially, in the middle someplace. And each side's have to kind of come a little bit closer together to get this thing to work out. Speaking of the cable talk shows, MSNBC, Morning Joe, we heard about this. Your principals there, Brzezinski and Scarborough, took a trip to Mar-a-Lago to talk with President Trump. They said, you know, we have said bad things about him because we believe they're true. He is this, that, and the other thing. But we've talked about him for so long. Maybe it's time, really, we should talk to him. The rash of negative response to that's been truly overwhelming, I'm sure, for them. You know, heretics, traitors, turncoats. How dare you? Even from their people they work with, you know, saying what's wrong. And even people on the other side of the political spectrum saying, what is wrong? What do they think they're trying to do? I don't know what they're trying to do. Hard to figure out, really. Could it be really, I don't know if altruistic is the right word. It's probably not, but it's what I'm working with here from the moment. Can't come up with anything else. Do they really want to reset things and say, all right, let's just be a little less harsh and one-sided how we present these things, and get a little more other side on political issues. Maybe that's really it. I don't know. Maybe it's a little more self-serving. As I understand it, I haven't really looked at the numbers, but numbers on their show and MSNBC in general not as strong as they once were. The quote is, people aren't buying what they're selling anymore. So maybe it's more of self-preservation. We need to do this in order to maintain, you know, viewership and maintain those really big paychecks that the big-time TV people make. So maybe it's that. I don't know. It's hard. I can only take a guess. You can only take a guess. But what I am going to do, I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm not necessarily going to go, you know, add a way to do it, guys, because I'm not entirely sure. But maybe it's a step that will result in something positive for our nation in terms of the coverage of what's going to be happening over at least the next 4 years. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe other people will kind of follow and think, well, you know, maybe we've learned a little bit of a lesson here. We need to be a little less preachy, and maybe we need a bit more down the middle on things. I don't know. We're going to find out. But for those folks, good, I guess, I think. Let's see how it works out. Those are my thoughts for what they're worth. I'm Jared Willits.